everybody, and welcome to this awesome interview and very exciting special occasion with my awesome friend Tiffany Wardle, whose brand new book, Lemuria, The Very Truth, is coming out today. Woo! Hello, Tiffany.
Hello. Hello. How you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very excited for you and for your book. This has been a long time in the making, hasn't it? A long time bringing this creation into fruition.
I think I figured out that it was about May 2 years ago that I started writing it when I first went to America. I can't believe it's taken me 2 years to get it out there, but it's done and it's out today. So I'm very happy to get it finalized. It's kind of, you know, that bittersweet feeling. It's like, oh, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
But really
exciting. I guess you get so involved with the project.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
No, that was it. It's just it's wonderful to get it out there, but I am going to miss the project. I love the project and it feels like part of me, and I've got so much passion for it. It's like, oh, I suppose I can pick it up. I can read it.
Yeah, you read your own book.
Yeah.
Doesn't know much about Lemuria. We've got another video on this channel as well with Tiffany where we talk about Lemuria a lot more. So if you want to find out more about Lemuria and what it's all about, do check out the other interview with Tiffany. But this book, so can you explain a little bit about the book? It's not so much a guidebook to Lemuria, is it? It's more of a story, a novel, and a channeled novel.
That's exactly right. Thank you. I've channeled this book mainly when I was in America. I went to California. I went to Sedona, Arizona. I also went to Colorado, and I channeled this book, a lot of it in Hawaii as well, because apparently that is where Lemuria sank. And when I was around the area of the Pacific Ocean, I would get images of what was happening there and the sinking of this continent and all the people there, and these people from Atlantis going to Lemuria. And I was like, what are these images? So I started writing it. Wasn't really sure what I was writing, didn't know if it was going to make any sense, and I pieced it together and it was a story. So for those people who are interested in Atlantis Lemuria, it will give you some research, detailed research and some history. But for those people who just want to read a lovely story, I've written it as a story as well. There's a bit of a love story in there and the love of a land and a big war. So there's kind of something in it for everybody.
Oh, that's so brilliant. And so whose perspective have you written the book from? Who came through as the voice that wanted to be the narrator or the star of the story?
Well, it was Lemurians mainly. I had a few Atlanteans coming forward, but I've got to be honest, it's quite a biased book towards Lemuria. So in the eyes of all Lemurians, the Atlanteans are the baddies. But if I'd written it from the eye of the Atlanteans, I'm sure it would have quite a different feel to it, you know. But what was good is that you have
frozen up a little bit. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Sorry, the it just froze up a little bit then, so I missed most of that. I don't know if it was my internet.
Yeah.
Probably was my internet.
No worries, no worries. I haven't got good internet here either. But yeah, so it's written by Lemurians mainly, and it's pretty biased towards Lemurians. But if it was written by an Atlantean, I'm sure it would have quite a different feel to the book. But I had so many different characters coming forward. I had priests of Lemuria coming forward, priestesses with all these spiritual gifts, and then I had the king and queen of Lemuria coming forward with these magical powers, and then I had a crystal healer from Lemuria coming forward. So piece by piece, they all told their story. And so I pieced together so many different characters. There's a lot of characters in the book, and it tells the story from their perspective.
This is so exciting. And I hear a rumour there might be dragons in it too.
Well, there's definitely mermaids in it. There's definitely mermaids in it. We haven't quite got to it yet. That was in Atlantis, but there are.
Oh, I'm just trying to add in the dragons. That's the next book, you see. That's the next book.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Someone else said to me, "You're going to write a book from the Atlantean perspective," and I was like, "That's when the dragons will come in a big way."
Good. That's the next book. Oh, brilliant! I love it with the mermaids as well. So, I think we went through this before, but just to refresh my little memory, Lemurians aren't necessarily mermaids, are they? Mermaids are something a little bit different to Lemurians. Is that right?
Yes, I mean, there are tales. It's all a matter of perspective, but there are tales that they came from Atlantis, and that's when we kind of merged with the sea. And there are also you hear that?
Internet going again. No, it just vanished off for a second. It's so that, but you seem to. Are you back again now? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Good. So, internet. Right. So, mermaids. There were tales that, and then it went.
Yeah, there are tales that the Atlanteans merged with sea people and created mermaids. And then there are other tales that Lemuria went under the sea as well. But from my perspective, I write them about mermaids and about Lemurians, just kind of getting along, if you like, and being able to see mermaids and see Lemurians and just kind of, yeah, living in each other's worlds, if you like.
Yeah. Oh, the internet is playing merry havoc today. Again, my lovely. Oh, internet. I'm going to hit it in a minute. Come on. Magic, do the magic. I should have put my big selenite crystal. Wait a minute. The selenite crystal's coming out. This usually does the trick with the internet. Right. You. Internet. Please work with the selenite crystal of awesome.
Magic as well. Let me see.
Okay. There we go. So hopefully this selenite will help things. So yeah, with the story, is it something that you have, you know, when you've been channeling the story, were you kind of living it with them? Were you kind of
there you are
visual? You see me?
No. There you are. You're back.
It's like now you see me, now you don't kind of interview. But both of us are living in the sticks, you see, so it's hard to get the internet working amazingly. I was saying, with the when you were channeling the story, was it like you were seeing it, like you were living it, like watching the movie of it, or were you just getting the words from your guides coming through?
That's a really good question. I lived it. It was a movie to me, and it came daily, weekly, and then it would just disappear, and then it would be another week before I got another chapter, and I just had to wait for it each time. So it kind of came as a film, if you like, whenever it wanted to.
That seems to be the way it works, doesn't it? Cool. And I haven't seen it yet, and I really can't wait to read it. It's out today. Now, you're saying there's a download available from today, and then you were saying that the physical book is coming out very short.
The download
I don't know if you had.
It's got
You did.
Free download at 4 o'clock today, just for the first day. So if you do want the free download, I will be putting up a link on my Facebook at 4 o'clock, and then the physical book will be out in about 3 days after that, but you can pre-order it on Amazon.
Amazing. Okay, well, that's great. Well, what I'll do is I'll put the links below the video as well for the online and also for the ordering on Amazon or on online as well. Now, this is not your first book, but is it your first? I know you've written other books before. Is this your first fictional book, though? So the books have been more guides, haven't they? Guidebooks to working and healing.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot in this about becoming a psychic. There's a lot in this about crystals, becoming a healer, becoming a medium, ascended masters, and there's a lot about archangels, but it is still written as a story. So yes, it's the very first book written as a story rather than just an educational course book.
Yeah, but a lot of the hidden truths are hidden in stories, aren't there? So it's just a good way of it coming through.
Exactly. It's a multi-layered book. You can read it just as a story, you can read it from a psychic perspective, or you can read it as a much deeper historical story about Lemuria.
I mean, so I guess when you were writing it, you didn't really know where it was going, did you? Did you have any idea of how it was going to end or how it was going to come together? Or was it completely just guided? I guess you couldn't have known, could you?
It's hilarious. I was joined by this kind of warrior from Lemuria who followed me around for a while until I started writing. And then I was joined by a king and a queen who I met in my first ever meditation ever, about 6 or 7 years ago, when I first started doing this work. And then just as I thought the story was finishing, then a whole new bunch of characters come in halfway through the book. So yeah, I really had no idea where it was going.
This is brilliant though, and it's obviously come together really beautifully as a story, and I'm so excited about it. What will be the plans next? Will you be doing any more Lemuria courses or workshops, or will it be writing the next novel? Is that the next kind of plan you've got?
That's a really good question. The book ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. It's definitely ready for another book, and it's going to be introducing Lemurians to humans, and that's kind of where we are today.
Wow.
Because people are unveiling about Lemuria. They are more interested. The word Lemuria is getting around a little bit, so that there is another book there. But at the same time, I do have a Lemurian healing course, which I will be focusing on alongside the book, so that people can also benefit from the healing from Lemuria as well as just reading the book.
That's brilliant. That's perfect. I think that would work so well together, wouldn't it? While you're discovering more about Lemuria, you can actually practically and physically do the work as well. That's like very, very magical.
Yes, I mean, I have some clients who are already trained Lemurian healing teachers from my courses, and they really feel the energy from Lemuria, and they have some of the goddesses with them from Lemuria, or some of the priestesses, and they want to feel that. And I've had other people contact me from Australia and Japan saying they keep getting this image of this big tidal wave hitting and the sinking of a continent, and they believe it to be Lemuria. And for people like that who already have a link with it, or a link with Atlantis, the healing course again would bring you that little bit closer.
Yeah, no, and I know people that have done it and what as well, and I'm going to have to get my backside in gear and do it, because I know they've said it's very different. Yes, Laura, come on, get backside in gear. But I've noted that people that have been doing it, and they said it is got a different energy to sort of the healing they've done before the Reiki, because I guess it's kind of similar to Reiki, but with different symbols, isn't it? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been described as 10 times the power of Reiki.
Wowzers.
So I did my Reiki masters, then I went to Japan where Reiki was discovered, and I know that energy. But Lemurian energy does seem a lot stronger, and I think because you're picking up on the ancestors from Lemuria as well, you can really feel like you're channeling, or they're channeling through you.
Amazing. And does it feel that the Lemurians, or some of them, are quite close to us, like close to humans at times, or like, because I think, does it feel like some of them are around today in some kind of form to connect with? Does that make sense?
Do you know what? That's such a good question. I think I woke up this morning and I did another radio interview.
Awesome.
Lemurian warriors, and I was like, oh, hello. And today, because obviously the book's out today, my house feels like it's absolutely surrounded by them, and Lemurians are like 8 feet tall. You can't really miss them if you're connected. And so yeah, I'm very lucky that I get to feel their energy, but I would love for everybody to feel their energy, because it's such a strong positive energy. Lemuria was described as this wonderful, almost angelic energy about them.
And is it that there's not really any evil or bad with Lemurians, or is that me being really naive?
Any evil what, sorry?
Are they not like, they're not kind of bad, flawed beings, or is that
the book, that's such a good point, because they didn't know. They lived this blissful, peaceful life, and then Atlantis turned up, and then these big wars, and they were having to deal with ego, and they were having to deal with these emotions that they never dealt with before. So there's a really interesting twist in the book, and it's quite bloody war. And they weren't very good at it.
Eep. Oh dear, sort of a last minute trying to be a warrior and not being that great at it. So they're just not, maybe
exactly,
they hadn't really had that experience of the need to be like that beforehand. Then there's sort of an innocence before, maybe.
They could manifest at the drop of a hat, and they manifested anything they wanted, but the law at Lemuria was you're not allowed to no arrogance. I mean, it was all new to them, and they couldn't handle it very well.
Oh, bless them. Oh, well, it's exciting. I can't wait to read the book. And I was watching this documentary about, I think it was about Malta. I think Malta, not Crete, Malta, I think. And it was about the temples there that were there before the temples that are there now. And what was been found, there was no evidence of any forts or defenses or army. It was all like, it was a community of peaceful people with riches and lovely things. So there's sort of evidence on the land that isn't that there were communities, whether that was Lemuria or people descended from Lemuria, who were not violent, whose communities were like you were describing.
Well, I've also studied Malta, and that has a close relationship with Atlantis. But at the end of Lemuria, as Lemuria fell, loads of Lemurians Atlantis, and they merged together as a race. That could be absolutely correct.
Interesting. I just find it really fascinating. I mean, we haven't obviously got the answers about it, but it's just nice questions, isn't it? And really lovely to see. I just love that bit of the documentary about finding this place in Malta where there was all these lovely places, but there was no fort defences or anything like that, no need for it until something changed, and then of course new people came in and took over. But lovely. Do you feel like the Lemurians have come back stronger at this time because we need to wake up to being more peaceful beings?
Well, I think that's a great point. Yes, I do. I mean, the Lemurians are fifth dimensional beings. They lived for thousands of years. They could manifest at the drop of a hat. This book, I described it before as kind of Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones, you know? And these magical beings, these spiritual beings, everybody there was psychic, Laura. They're not silly. They know that they've hidden Lemuria and it will be found when they want us to find it. So yes, I think the energy has changed, obviously since 2012, for example, and I think more people are curious about it. But I think when they want to be found fully, they will be.
And do you think Lemurian crystals are part of that? The clues that people are finding a lot more Lemurian crystals, aren't they? And is that bits of knowledge and bits of clues? Do you?
Lemuria, and they are known as record keeping crystals. And toward the end of the book, there is a section where they're burying all their memories in these crystals into the soil of Lemuria. So apparently there's loads of secrets. Record keeping crystals are absolutely key to us knowing more about Lemuria and that time. And yes, have been found. I mean, I got mine from Mount Shasta when I climbed Mount Shasta, because there is apparently a huge Lemurian settlement there, and I think that's where I got a lot of my information from. So yeah, loads more people are too.
That's brilliant. So is it California and Hawaii? Is that the main geographical points where you can connect with the energy, or where that Lemuria was? Is that the main places we can look at? Because it's meant to be a very big continent, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry. When I went to Kauai, there, and we did some heat. Lemuria, is it in the sea here off the Pacific coast? She said, no, you're on it. She widely believes there that Kauai and the other Hawaiian islands are the mountain tips of Lemuria, where it sank. So according to her, that's where it is, but it spreads all the way across, all the way up to, from Australia up to, you know, Fiji Islands, and then right across to almost Japan. So it was a big continent.
Wow, absolutely. That's, yeah. And yeah, I know that Mount Shasta was a big point, and that the chakra points of the globe. And Mount Shasta's one of those, isn't it? One of the big chakra points of the globe for really, like Glastonbury's the heart chakra of the globe. And even though Glastonbury isn't anything to do with Lemuria, we've got a lot of hidden lands and sunken lands here as well. So it's a similar kind of energy. I definitely think there would be some connection somewhere along the road.
I can't hear you now.
Oh no! Come back, internet. Come back, internet. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
No. Oh, yes, yay! Did you hear anything that I said before about Glastonbury?
Yes, I heard about the heart chakra, and then I heard there must be some connection, and then I lost you.
Well, yeah, basically, I think that there's a similar kind of mythical vibe around here about the sunken lands here, and I wonder if there would be some Lemurian connection with Glastonbury. Probably would connect with the energy here, wouldn't they? I'm sure.
Oh, I mean, I feel Lemurian energy when I'm in Glastonbury, when I'm at the heart chakra. Mount Shasta is supposedly the base chakra, and I totally feel that those two have connected. And I have seen Lemurians around Glastonbury as well when I was merging with the other chakras, linking up the world. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think this is all very powerful. But actually, just a question for if people don't know very much about Lemuria, and maybe they don't necessarily quite believe it yet, they're not sure, they're on the fence, is this book still okay for them to read? They want to read it just as a novel?
Exactly that. Exactly that. It's still a beautiful story about love, war, peace. It's just a beautiful tale. And for those spiritually aware, there's a lot of education about spirituality. And for those who are aware about Atlantis, there's lots of information about that. So it's called The Buried Truth because there are so many layers buried within the book.
Oh, this is so exciting. How is this baby of yours, not baby, but the book baby, actually coming out into the world? It's hard, isn't it? I guess after you've been looking after something for 2 years, suddenly it's going to be out there. Does that feel really exciting but nerve-wracking?
I just want to connect with the people that want to know more. I have various emails from all over the world from people who ask me about Lemuria because there's not that much out there about it unless you really know where to go or you're in the right places of the world. So I want it to become globally aware, and if I can help people with the images they're getting or with their healing or help them with their understanding, then I will be happy.
Brilliant. Oh, it is tough, isn't it? Because it's a word most people have heard of, Lemuria and Atlantis, but as you said, there's not a lot out there, and I think people can be a bit unsure of where to go or who to go to for advice about it, really. So it's really great this book is out, and also your course as well, to learn more. But it is something you have to just connect with, isn't there? Because there isn't probably much written archaeological facts. It is something everyone personally needs to connect with to get their knowledge, really, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, when I was writing and researching, there just wasn't much out there, or I was worried about the source where it was coming from, and I was thinking, well, how am I going to make myself a reliable source? And I thought there's only way to do this, and that's why I've spent 2 years traveling the globe, really, looking for places to go and finding clues. So it's more of a reliable.
You there, lovely?
Can you hear me?
Oh, it's gone again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch. That actually helps the internet, so you won't see me, but they'll need to see me anyway. So if I'll just turn my internet off, my camera off, and then hopefully that'll improve the quality of everyone speaking. So I'll just do that now, and hopefully that will help. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay, Tiffany? Yes, I think it might be better without my camera because I'm sure it's my internet struggling with life. So I hope this will be better. No one needs to see my face anyway. You can see me there, so that's good. So yeah, you were saying you found it really hard to find anything about Lemuria. Then it went.
What I did find, well, how do I know it was a reliable source? And I thought, well, there's only one way, and that's find out myself, which is why I spent a couple of years touring and traveling the globe and going to places where there have been sightings or there is more evidence. And I think that way it becomes more of a credible source.
Yeah, and I love that how you do this is you just get this feeling, don't you? Your guides tell you have to be somewhere, and you're pretty damn awesome because you just do it when you can.
I'm not sure I have the choice, Laura. I mean, I was sat in my flat in Surrey and a message came through again saying, you're going to Hawaii on the 27th of April. That was this time last year. And I said, I can't afford it. And they just kind of said, tough. So, exactly. So I was in Hawaii by myself, 24 hours of flying, 2 different flights, picked up a car in Kauai, never driven there before on that soil, found my apartment in the middle of the night, and I just kind of got told where to go every day. So I just followed it. I just had a pretty strong intuition time. But I look back and I think, Tiffany, you're a bit crazy doing that. But
I love it. I think you should write a book about your mad road trips that you go on as well. And all.
Yeah, I mean, climbing Mount Shasta, everyone's like, in the summer, when you can cruise down the rivers and it's beautiful. I did it in the snow. I trekked 7,000 feet up a mountain in the snow. No one else was doing it. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, I've done some pretty crazy road trips.
Yeah, I think one day that'll be the next story that's coming out. But as you said, that the Lemurians are manifestors, and if they want you to write this story, they're going to get you to write this story.
Yeah, that's exactly true. That's exactly true. I mean, I've got to be honest. I remember downing tools and not writing anything for about 6 months. I did nothing, but then they'll come up again and they'll make me start writing again when they've given me a bit of a break, you know. So yeah, if they want to manifest, they will.
Yeah, it seems like it. And have you? Is it changed how you see the world, or how you work in a spiritual way, connecting with the Lemurian guides as you have?
I couldn't hear that last bit.
Sorry. Has it changed how you see the world, or how you work in a psychic way, working with your Lemurian guides?
The way I work with the guides is very similar to the way I work with my clients, because with my clients, I'll see my guides and I'll see their guides, and I'll talk them through what I'm seeing as a psychic. And I suppose I'm really lucky that is because that's exactly the same way I was seeing the Lemurian guides. It was if I was doing a reading for somebody and the guides had come through. So I think I'm quite lucky that it was exactly the same.
Oh, cool. And has it changed? I mean, has it evolved how you work doing this story, and the information you've received as well? Has it evolved how you work?
Oh, definitely. It's a really good point. Definitely. I think I've got more guides because of it. I have linked in with the ancestors of Lemuria and the Lemuria and the archangels of Lemuria. So I've added to my collection of guides that I have. It makes me work on multi-levels, because you have to link in with Lemuria, which is very different to linking in with an archangel or with a priestess or with a goddess. So it's made me more of a multi-layered psychic, definitely, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And how long, I mean, approximately, do you know at all how long the Lemurians were around for before the Atlantean War happened?
The Atlanteans were around for 12,000 years. But it has been written that the Lemurians were around for like 50,000 years before. So to me is, how come we know so much more about Atlantis than we do about Lemuria? And they were around longer, much longer, and they were around way before the people from Atlantis were. So it's an interesting point. But I think, as I said, they did and they will.
Yeah. Do you reckon it's because Atlantis was a bit more ego-y, so therefore they'd make more things to be remembered by, or make...
Boy, I think you just hit the nail on the head, and I don't need to say anything.
Because I think it's just always the peacekeeping nations, or the ones that are very gentle, that don't leave the mark on the earth as much, do they? It's just the ones like us, really, that kind of leave the marks everywhere.
Exactly why there was a war in the first place. The Lemurians hated the fact that Atlantis came along with these egos and tried to make everything bigger, better, and more competitive. And that just didn't sit well with Lemurians. So I can totally believe that. Peaceful nation, quite happy in their own skin, didn't need to change anything, didn't need to modernize anything, and don't feel the need to show off and tell anybody about it either. Yes.
And did they look like us? I know they were tall beings, but were they sort of human in looks, the Lemurians?
The Lemurians, to me, what I see are normally really light-haired, light skin, light hair, blue eyes, normally, and they can be up to 8 foot tall, between 6 and 8 foot tall, and they wear quite plain clothes, unless they're in their royal garbs, you know.
Yeah.
they're brown hair as well. I've seen occasional Lemurians that were maybe only 6 feet tall with dark hair, and if they had darker skin, they were quite unusual. So yeah, they were quite big. Whereas Atlantis, again, tall and big, but darker.
Oh, cool. That's interesting. And I was thinking as well, like I've seen a lot of sort of alternative archaeology, and there's been a lot of discoveries of giants, like bones, people that were about that tall. There was all over the globe. There seems to have been discoveries of skulls or bones of beings that were much bigger than people. Have you sort of heard about that or researched that at all?
I think that there have been physical sightings of Lemurians. I have a friend of mine from England who I bumped into in the States quite randomly. And I went to Kauai, she told me to go, and she'd seen these 2 beings, and she said they had kind of gills on the side of their faces. She thought they were real people.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they were really, really cool, and she totally believes they were Lemurians. So I can believe that, Laura. I really can believe that with us, that they are around. There is apparently a big settlement called Telos, which is Mount Shasta again. And again, there's lots of sightings if you go over to like San Francisco and North California. And I can totally believe that there would be remains.
Yeah, it just seems to be coming out again more recently. What I've been seeing that all over the world, there are discoveries of old bones that are bigger than humans would be, and not just the odd one, you know, for a ridiculously tall person, but quite a few. So it is interesting that now a lot of the clues seem to be coming together, really.
Yes, I think I was definitely told to write this after 2012. I think we opened up the ways, if you like, to let more beings come down to our level, to our vibration. And I think, especially at this time, I mean, if we look at the global economy at the moment and we look at the world at the minute, and then we look at these beings that have very strong healing powers.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that more and more people are getting connected and coming together. It doesn't surprise me at all.
Brilliant. And even if they just need to see the bones to get them on the wavelength that there was a species of people here before us, that could just be the clue they need sometimes, isn't it, to get the interest going, that we maybe weren't the first lot of, or we don't know everything about our ancestry or about the beings that were here before.
Or that not everything down to the evolution of a human being, and that perhaps that's quite egotistical, that we think it's all about us. And
I know. It's all about
I totally, yeah, I mean, I totally believe that the majority of us have come from somewhere like Atlantis, the Mayans, the Aborigines, Lemurians. I believe that was all connected way before we were even thought about.
Yeah, I know, definitely. I love that these things are coming out or being at least questioned at the moment anyway, or starting to be questioned more. So this is really cool. So is there any information about buying the book that you could share with people? Is it available on Amazon, did you say?
I mean, there'll be a free download for 24 hours today, from 4 o'clock today GMT, and the link will go up on my Facebook page, and I'm sure Laura will put it up as well.
I sure shall.
And then the physical book, you can pre-order it now on Amazon, and you can also pre-order it, and it'll come out in about 3 to 4 days time, I think, by the time we get the first print load and it comes out. But that's available on Amazon, and you can also download it by Kindle as well. You just have to search for Lemuria or my name, Tiffany Wardle, and it will be there.
Oh, so excited! I can't wait to read it, and I'm wishing it all the most awesome success, as I'm sure it will have. But yeah, and I look forward to the more parties and the more adventures that's going to happen with your launch as well. So you're going to be online at 4, did you say, for the launch?
Yeah, the first hour is kind of crucial to us, as that's when all the downloads are going to start happening all over the world, and I'm working with a great company who are doing that with me. We Help You Thrive. And so at 4 o'clock I will be very much live, and yes, and on Facebook and posting and busy. So yes,
oh,
you will be find the link.
Yes, we'll get the link out there. Obviously, I'll put the links underneath this video as well. But it's so exciting. Is there anything else you'd like to say at all about the book or anything? Anything else you want to say before we go?
I just want to say this. I mean, I've written it from a very spiritual aspect because that is about me. And for those of you who perhaps are a bit more pessimistic or perhaps aren't really sure, I just want you to know that I have written it from the point of view that it's just a fun read. It's just a good book as well. It's just an exciting read.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely. And again, there's so much interest at the moment in more alternative realities, you know, with, as you say, with Game of Thrones and other, I'm using my fingers inverted comments, fantasy worlds. Obviously this is not fantasy, but you know, it's such a lovely resurgence for that at the moment. So, you know, it can be enjoyed in that way, or I'm sure most people are going to go into it with a big passion for Lemuria and interest in finding out more as well. So it's all very exciting, and I'm looking forward to the love story as well. But yeah, can you hear me all right?
I missed some of that. But
no, I was just saying, I was looking forward to it all. I'm looking forward to reading it as a love story as well. It sounds good. But I'm going to, well, I shall let you go because my internet seems to be doing terrible things. But it's been so awesome and so lovely to catch up with you and to hear about this book, and really excited about the launch today, and I hope it goes really well.
About the internet, people, but I'm so glad for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, hopefully people at home, you can still hear the important bits of this interview, and I'm going to share the links to the download and also to the Amazon link underneath here as well. So get the book, and I'll see you all later. Thank you so much, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Bye.